single point of access, I would just bring that up on some things that come before them to make sure that emergency vehicles can get in and out of there without being blocked. So, of course, that's something we definitely need to be part of our review is the emergency access. Similarly, the High Mount Lodge also is served by a single point of access. Steep boat profile with grades in excess of 10%. We already discussed that. Discuss that a little further. Emergency access. Ulster County Planning Board notes that SDEIS mitigation for ambulance and fire vehicles, fire services rather vague. Fire company seems to be asking for additional training and unspecified equipment. I haven't heard of that one. I haven't heard from the fire company yet. They're supposed to meet with our engineer at some point.
Right. I'm trying to get everyone coordinated right now, all the different fire chiefs, because it's it would be for something of that magnitude. They would be I just lost the word. They would get mutual aid. Pine Hill would receive mutual aid from Big Indian and Shandaken, and so I was trying to coordinate, and at the recommendation of the Pine Hill Fire Chief as well, because he feels that the other fire chiefs should be there too. So they want to do Big Indian, Pine Hill, and Phoenicia Fire Chiefs, because it's mutual aid, and if something, big were to happen, it would be all of those agencies that were responding. But just, just because it's a project of this size, it's beneficial for all of the local fire chiefs. I think it would benefit just that that it's not just one fire department, you know what I mean? The more people that are aware of what's happening. I'm just speaking because I've done fire and EMS for 20 years, so I know how this works. And from an insider's perspective, it would be beneficial to Crossroads, to the planning board, to have all of these agencies aware and involved.
So you're trying to coordinate everybody's schedule?
That's an awful lot of people.
No, it's 3 people.
Well,
it's 3 people.
What normally happens
it's only
with
3.
Big Indian and Pine Hill, they're under automatic mutual aid.
Yeah.
When one call is called out, the other responds. So, I can see that connection.
Right.
And then
And they cover the firehouse, while the others are out.
right. So so technically it would be involve one more fire chief.
Yeah. It's a matter of 3 people.
All right.
But
Can
so
we get that meeting set up soon?
yeah, I'm trying.
Because he's been asking about that. Jason's been asking about that for a while.
Okay. I'll call Peter tomorrow and see when he's available, so I can try to work everybody else to find out.
And our fire code inspector.
The building inspector. The new building inspector as of this week is Clark Kimball.
So he has to be notified of this meeting.
Yeah, I already told him that it's in the works, so he knows that it's happening. It looks like it's probably going to be either a Monday or a Tuesday night that works best for these people so far. I mean,
Can we get that set up within the next 2 days?
I've been trying.
We'll see.
Now,
It's
Just getting hold of
scheduling conflicts, getting a hold of people, getting them to call me back, scheduling conflicts.
You want me to do it?
And then, I've had a few days that the office was closed. We've had snow days, so I mean, there's been some interference
Want me
also.
to try to coordinate it?
Let me try one more time tomorrow. And if I can't get everybody on board by Friday, then absolutely. I know most of these people work during the day too, so I think that maybe I'll just leave them my home number so they can call me at home if that works better for them. I don't have a problem with that, and then this way, we can get everybody.
Tracy, who's the Pine Hill?
The Pine Hill Fire Chief is Orville Smith.
It is one.
And I called Lowell a couple weeks ago, got Orville's number, but Orville's hard to get a hold of. You gotta leave a message and, wait for him to get back to you. And then it would be Jody Brazos for Big Indian.
So the ambulance service is about to for this meeting, correct?
Nobody said anything about the ambulance previously, but I can definitely reach out to my ambulance chief and let him know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they're talking about having a garage close by or something for it.
Yeah, he did mention something about that to me, so I'll talk to him, probably tonight and see, do you have like a date or a time you can give me that I can, because it's hard if I don't have a date or time, you know what I mean? And so I'm kind of working around availability, but I'm not calling anybody with a date or a time. I'm asking them when they're available to come meet, and it's hard to get everybody on board. So maybe if I can just schedule like a tentative date and time, what would be good for you, and then I just can call everybody and ask them to please be here at this date and time for this
Any
meeting.
day but Thursday is fine with me. My schedule.
Okay. So next Wednesday is a ZBA meeting. Maybe the following Wednesday, because there's no meetings that night here, so there's nothing going on here. So maybe
during the day.
what did you say?
Anyway.
It won't work during the day because everybody works. It would have to be in the evening. I mean, that's already been established.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was part of the problem initially. So, I mean, maybe if we planned on doing like at a regular planning board time, maybe at 7 p.m. here.
Well, I don't want to wait a month.
No, it wouldn't be a month, it would be like 2 weeks. Unless you want me to try for next Wednesday. Oh wait, there's a ZBA meeting next Wednesday. Well, next Wednesday's ZBA meeting's at 7:30. Maybe we can try for next Wednesday at 6.
That's fine.
If you want to try that. Worst case scenario,
Coffee.
is it okay to go out another week? I mean, it would be 2 weeks would be the maximum time. All right, so I'll try for this coming Wednesday, if not then the following.
Okay, we're up to stormwater. Shandaken Planning Board should condition site plan approval on obtaining the needed stormwater permit from New York State DEC, which we already know. Any questions so far? Discussion? Water and sewer project will need to confirm the required supply amount with the Ulster County Health Department and seek necessary approvals for distribution system. We've got quite a bit of information on that. Lighting. Applicant should be required to move to LED lamps. All outdoor lighting should be required to meet the fully shielded definition adopted by the National Dark Sky Association. I guess,
And up in the top, they say it is fully shielded, and up in the bottom, they say it should be required to be fully shielded. I'm not really clear what they're saying there.
I hate to be critical, but I'm lost here. It's a whole mishmash of what we should do, what they should do. Crossroads should do, what, you know.
Well, we're getting a little bit of guidance from the county planning board as to what we should do in this. Plus,
Yeah, but I mean, it's all mixed in with things that I think Crossroads should do.
Which things they want us to require them to do.
But we should require them to do it, but why don't they just do it? Well,
well, they have. We just have to look through and make sure that
Yeah.
these things, in case they haven't done one of these items. All right, you know, we've gone through some of the key points that our engineer has brought to our attention. Now we're going through the key points that the county planning board's bringing to our attention. So, part of our review.
yeah, but now I'm looking at the next one, landscaping. The details of landscaping should be provided. So what are we, are they just gonna do it, or are we supposed to tell them to do it, or is it?
County planning board is asking us, maybe we want to look at the entrance ways
Yeah,
coming off of 49A. Maybe we'll want to require some type of landscaping there to make sure that it doesn't interfere with sight distance and that. They're suggesting that it's something we might want to take a look at in our review
yeah.
as a town planning board.
The Ulster County Planning Board is not asking for anything. They're just suggesting that the Town of Shandaken Planning Board request, or they suggest that we require these things from the applicant. That's how they're putting it.
Well, this is just conversation, because we just received this tonight, but we're gonna go over this at our workshop.
Right.
Construction phasing. The Shandaken Planning Board should require the completion of the parking garage as a condition of the opening of the hotels. Absent of proof of parking, demand can be met without it. That's common sense, right?
One of the parking garages is under the hotel.
Is it an SB first?
Hey, remember, they get paid for this, we don't. The county planning board people. Not the planning board, but the county planning department. Construction blasting. Consideration should be given to provide limits on blasting and construction activity on weekends, especially Sundays.
Well, we skip this architectural detail, but I'm still reading that where it's,
Do you have a comment on that?
no, it's, the lodging units should be different or typical for Pine Hill, or?
Yeah, I didn't see anything that jumped out at me on the architectural details. It seems appropriate to ask for meaningful individualization in the lodging units so as to present a more varied and unique sense of place where they are encountered in the project.
They don't want the building to look the same.
Details should include facade changes as well as alteration of typical building shapes. I don't know how, personally, I don't agree with it, but whatever you think of that comment, we'll discuss during our workshop. Secor. Now, even though the state is the lead agency in that, we still have to sign off on that.
Which one?
The Secor, that's my understanding. So they're just saying that we should make sure that all the project mitigation measures are included in that. and an on-site monitor that reports to the town, DEC, DEP should be put in place. I think we discussed that before. Any questions on that?
No, that's what we were talking about already.
And an inspector out there. Subdivision consolidation of the lots into a single lot for the project, we already discussed that. We discussed the, an actual survey map that shows that, right? So. The town should consider a special permit. Advisory comment, the town should consider issuing a special permit for the project as currently presented, given that the major project elements and their overall location on the site are such that they can be considered meeting the requirements of a special permit. This would leave any additional regulatory approvals to be dealt with under the site plan review. Let's see, site plan advisory comments. Town's building inspector or permit to permit minor site changes without undergoing additional site plan. It's something we have to look into because we don't want them to come before us every time a little change takes place.
Yeah, it's often that we just amend permits to include changes without having to alter the application in any way.
So we need to put something in writing to that effect, that this building inspector will take care of the minor changes without undergoing additional site plan review. Include a sign off from an environmental monitor at New York State DEC, DEP, permitting shifting of buildings or road placements to avoid additional blasting. These are just examples of these changes. Changes in lighting, signage, or landscaping locations.
I don't remember anybody ever coming back. Change site.
Well,
Maybe they did.
Usually they're just such a smaller
Yeah,
scope
yeah,
than this,
yeah,
that it's
but-
not been an issue.
yeah. They'll, you know, most likely be changes here and there with
Yeah.
technical amendments based on changing environmental practices and or requirements. The Shandaken Planning Board should have a record of the amendments and they should be treated as approved change orders by the building inspector. The Shandaken Planning Board may also wish to restrict criteria for the opening of a new phase if previous phases have yet to have been completed. Financial security, site plan approval should include the necessary financial security for projects. A particular concern would be repair and improvement of Gunnison Road. Construction inspection, town considered inspection services by phase and request quotes to bid for these services. Does anybody have any comments or discussions on any of those topics, issues?
Don, could you please bring to their attention the paragraph on the top of page 2, the first paragraph?
Page 2 of the site plan or the
No,
special
page 2
permit?
of the letter that you,
There's 2 page 2s though.
One starts out with overall, or
Yes.
recommendations of the County Route 949A? Okay. One that starts out at the top of County
Overall.
49A?
Oh, you know what, Don? I think these are, I don't know why they did that. They put the 2 different referrals on top of the same thing and gave me 2 of the same thing. That's why everybody has 2, but I guess it's actually 1. Okay. It looked like it was 2 packets, the way they sent it, but it's because they put the 2 different, they did 1 referral as site plan and 1 referral as special permit, but they attached the same response to the different face sheets. So I got it now, so it is the same
Does everybody have
thing.
that page?
Yeah.
Done?
Everybody's got two of them.
Done? Which did you want us to look at?
Overall.
Just that first paragraph,
The county Route 49A.
No, above that. I think.
overall.
Overall, the Ulster County Planning Board is supportive of the Bel Air Resort as proposed. The project has evolved over time, substantially reducing the amount of disturbed area and the significant environmental impacts while still meeting the vision of the applicant. The Ulster County Planning Board is hopeful that the Bel Air does indeed become a reality, as it can play an important role in the local and regional economy. All right, so we'll just look into these things that we just talked about, check them out, check your zoning, and we'll discuss it more our next workshop meeting.
I do have the final action report form that came with it too, so I'll keep that in the correspondence file until you guys are ready to make a decision.
Okay, that's it for our old business. New business, we just have one topic we might want to discuss, what to do.
This is the email, and then I have a couple of the parcel viewers attached to it.
Someone is discussing
I need that back.
having a rehab center. Since they're just discussing it, I don't know if we really want to go into detail as to exactly where it is and everything.
Well, she wants to buy the property, but she wants to know that, you know, she can come and apply for the permits prior to buying the property, because that would be the intended use.
What is the, what
It wouldn't be a, it's not a rehab facility. It would be for people who are already detoxed. So it would be like, you know, a care facility for a detoxed individual to rehabilitate them with a medical and psychiatric staff. But there would be no court-mandated people there. There would be no one there on drugs detoxing. That they would all happen post-detox. And it would just be like, you know, a nursing home for a recovering addict. She already has a facility in Florida that actually shares a wall with a daycare center. And so they're looking at a property in this area and questioning the process before she doesn't want to buy it if they're not going to be allowed to do it.
The reason why I bring it up is I want us to start taking a look at our zoning and seeing where it's permitted, where it's not permitted.
I looked it up and I
You
saw,
want to just kick that up to the next workshop, is that what you're saying? I mean, you gotta tell us what it is. If you want to do it, or if you just want to do it at a workshop, you feel more comfortable with that.
She's looking for a statement as to whether it's all going to be allowed or not.
yes.
All right. Okay, well, let's take a look at it then.
And then the other thing too is what it would be classified on the district schedule, because I looked it up, and there was something on there about, like a community center type alternative care center thing. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I didn't make a copy of it or flag it or bring it with me, but there was something on there, that it qualifies as. I just can't remember which one it was. Now it's at the bottom of one of the rows on the schedule.
There's already a motel there on the property. And a restaurant.
On the same property?
I was gonna say, you don't really have to say where the property is, just what the zoning district is, but that probably describes a property.
So that's what we have to look at, is the uses that are mentioned in there. I mean, so this R,
It's R1.5 in the front and R3 in the back.
so I mean,
It's R1.5, it's got a restaurant and a hotel on it.
It is now, but I don't think we can, we have to go by the use of the,
And it, well,
And she wants to-
it is permitted, it is not prohibited in an R1.5. I did look it up, I just can't remember exactly what it was called.
Is this a change of use or a new building?
It would be a change of use, yeah, because she would be changing it to a rehabilitation center.
And the restaurant would be gone and the hotel would be
They
gone?
would use, the restaurant place would be medical offices, and the hotel part would be housing for, you know, people that were staying. And it's a for-profit organization. I asked her to send me an email with some points on it, so Don has that, if you want to look at some of the important things that I asked her just, you know, to touch on some of the important points, and she did send that in an email, just some bullets on,
this is truly,
Could you, I'm sorry.
the,
No, I didn't want to interrupt you. Could you just, if she, does she have,
said it's also covered under the Americans with Disabilities Act, just so that you're aware, because they are considered disabled.
and you said that she has one in Florida as
She
well?
does, she has one in Florida.
Did she explain what the one in Florida does? So we
Yeah,
have
exactly
some-
what I just
some
told you.
clarity?
Post-detox, people go in for rehabilitation treatment, counseling, family counseling, therapy, it's the therapeutic process after, you know, post-detox.
Does it sound similar to the one that we have in Mount Trumbull?
But I don't know what's in Mount Trumbull.
What's the name of the one in Mount Trumbull? Do you know, Kathy? Hasbrook House.
No, that's a halfway house. That's entirely different.
This is like a step forward.
This is nothing like that. Like right now, she has down there 2 New York City police officers and an NBA player's son. Those people you wouldn't find it.
let me just read this quickly. This is truly needed to be due to the drug epidemic that exists today. The disease needs to be supported and recognized as such, so we can do something to help stop it. My family is truly committed to helping all those that want to be helped. Growing up with an addicted brother, seeing him almost die, and how it affected our family is what has given us our strength to take on this disease. So rehab does its work. My family and I would like to open a rehab in Catskill Seed property that is for sale. Here are some bullet points in regard to who we are and what we want to do. We currently have a rehab center in Florida and would like to open one in New York. Our hope, if allowed, is to open a facility that would be licensed and regulated by OSIS. It would be for a for-profit facility, so we would be paying taxes, employing local people, supporting local businesses. We would have 24 supervision and cameras monitoring coming and going. Our medical center in Florida shares a common wall with a daycare center, and we are told we are great neighbors. We have a clinical director, therapists, and doctors on staff, and would do the same in the New York facility. We would also have family counseling sessions. Our goal is to give our clients the guidance and tools needed to love themselves again, and also how to lead a productive life. We are giving families back their mothers, fathers, children, and have taught them to love themselves again. Our clients are serious about recovery. Due to the IFA, I can't tell you names, but we have had police officers, lawyers, mothers, and young adults go through our program successfully. We offer full-service residential treatment. Clients would live within the facility and be treated there as well. The range of stay would be approximately 30 to 60 days, and then they can go home.